Have you ever felt butterflies in your stomach, even after you've turned 60? That mix of excitement and fear, as if it were the first time? That's right. We think we've lived it all, seen it all. But love, that damn thing, has the gift of surprising us. Even after so much road, it arrives quietly, or sometimes suddenly, and shakes everything up again. Starting a new relationship at this stage in life may seem strange to some, but for many people, it is precisely now that the chance to experience something light, real, unhurried, and without games arises. What we want is company, affection, good conversation, and of course respect. But along with this desire, sometimes comes fear. Fear of getting too involved, fear of getting hurt again, fear of trusting and being disappointed. Look, this fear is understandable. After a certain age, we carry stories, wounds, memories. No one arrives here with a completely clean soul, like a blank slate. But that doesn't mean we need to close the doors. But we also can't open everything without thinking. That's why today, I wanted to talk to you about the beginning of a relationship. It's not a recipe or expert advice. It's just a sincere chat, as if we were having coffee on the porch, exchanging life experiences. We're going to talk about some important precautions that can protect your heart without closing it off to what life still has to offer. You know that moment when everything seems too good to be true? When the new person seems to have come out of a dream? Well, that's exactly the first thing to do. Keep your feet on the ground. Excitement is good. It's good for you. It renews your energy. But it can also be blinding. Sometimes we project onto others everything we'd like to find, and we forget to see who the person really is. It's like putting on rose-colored glasses. The landscape looks beautiful, but we miss the details. So take it slow. Get to know someone slowly. Listen more than you speak. Pay attention not only to what the person says, but to what they do. Words can be pretty, but actions count more. It's not distrust, it's wisdom. It's caring for yourself. Another important point is to remember your life before this new relationship. Because sometimes the desire to please is so great that we start to give up small habits, old friendships, even the routine that used to be good for us. And this happens without realizing it. Before you know it, you're changing your schedule, your tastes, your way of dressing, just to fit into the other person's life. But does it have to be this way? Would someone who truly values you want you to change everything? Healthy love respects space and encourages freedom. It doesn't come to erase who you are. It comes to add to you. So if you start to feel like you're losing yourself, take a deep breath and ask yourself, am I still being me in this relationship? This simple question can save you from a lot of pain later on. It's also good to see if the new person really listens to you, not only when everything is going well, but especially when you share your opinions, your stories, your wounds. Sometimes we realize that we're only being heard when we say things that please them. But what about when you set your limits? When you say, that's not good for me. The other person's reaction says a lot about the future of the relationship. True love embraces even when it doesn't agree. It doesn't impose, it doesn't ridicule, it doesn't diminish. So if you start to feel small, insecure, or quiet around this person, maybe it's time to pay attention. In a good relationship, we grow together. We feel stronger, more whole, never less. Now, there's also something that many people forget. We don't need to tell everything about our lives right from the start. It's not about hiding, no. It's about protecting. There are wounds that are still healing. There are memories that are only yours. Trust isn't born ready. It's built.
So share whatever you want in your own time. No pressure. And you know that old habit of trying to guess what the other person wants to hear? It's best to leave that aside. Being honest from the beginning is the greatest gift you can give yourself. Because if the person likes you for the image you've created, it won't last. But if they really like you, just the way you are, then there's a chance it will work out. By the way, it's important to talk about something delicate. Loneliness. Often it's what pushes us into a relationship before it's time. And when neediness speaks louder, we cling to the first gesture of attention, the first compliment, and end up getting involved with someone who isn't really a good fit. Loving someone is beautiful, but loving out of fear of being alone is dangerous. Because the risk of getting hurt is high, and healing can take a long time. So if you are starting a relationship, also notice what you are feeling when you are alone. Whether the other person's company is filling a void or adding to your already peaceful life. This difference is profound. A healthy relationship is not there to fill holes. It is there to build bridges. And remember, there is no right age to fall in love. There is no ideal time. What exists is taking care of yourself. Love and maturity has everything to be more serene, lighter, more true, but only if you enter it with your eyes open, your heart at peace, and respect for everything you've experienced so far. And look, there's no need to rush. Every step can be savored. Every conversation, every discovery, every affection. True love doesn't require rushing. It waits. It grows slowly, like a plant that needs sun, water, and time. You deserve a relationship that is good for you, that respects you, listens to you, looks you in the eye and sees a beautiful story there, full of strength, learning, and overcoming. Because at the end of the day, loving after 60 is an act of courage. And you already have that courage inside you, even if you haven't realized it yet. Shall we continue this conversation? Because there are still more important things to talk about at the beginning of this relationship. Things that can help you move forward with ease, with firmness, and with a peaceful heart. You know that I am happy just imagining you there, on the other side, reflecting on everything we have talked about so far. Because I know that sometimes you feel the urge to dive in head first, but I also know that there is nothing wrong with taking it slow, taking each step carefully. What we want is to be happy, right? And to do that, we need to protect ourselves a little too. One of the most hurtful things when you're starting a relationship at this stage in your life is forgetting that the other person also has baggage. Just like you, they also bring fears, habits, quirks, happy stories, and others that aren't so good. And sometimes, without realizing it, we expect them to already know exactly how to treat us, to guess what we feel, to fill in every empty space. But no one can guess anything, so it's always worth remembering, talking is everything. I always say that a relationship without honest conversation is like trying to light a fire without wood. A spark will come out, but it won't last. So don't be afraid to say what you like, what bothers you, what makes you happy. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask how her day was, ask her what she expects, ask her how she feels when you're together. This exchange is so beautiful, so simple, and it makes all the difference. We can't guess the other person's feelings, but we can create a safe space for them to show. And look, sometimes, even though we really want it to work out, the person isn't ready or isn't on the same wavelength. And that hurts. It hurts because we get excited, dream, make plans. But it's also important to accept that not every relationship will blossom. It's not your fault. It doesn't mean you don't deserve love.
It just means that maybe this isn't the right person to walk by your side. And that's okay, because when the right person appears, the journey becomes easier, more natural. Another thing I really want you to pay attention to is the signals your body gives you. Sometimes, at the beginning of a relationship, we get so nervous and anxious that we don't listen to what our hearts and minds are trying to tell us. If you notice that you're losing sleep every night because of insecurities, if you feel tightness in your chest when someone takes a long time to respond, If you're constantly afraid of being rejected, maybe it's time to take a deep breath and rethink how you're conducting this relationship. Love is not supposed to hurt. Of course, it requires effort, patience, and adjustments, but it is not supposed to take away your peace. If you start to feel like you are always on alert, that you cannot be yourself, that you're always trying to please others and forgetting about yourself, stop for a moment. Ask yourself, is this relationship bringing me more joy or more anguish? That already says a lot. And speaking of happiness, don't let your relationship become the center of everything in your life. It's so easy to forget about everything else when you're in love, but your life has so many other colors besides love. Friends, family, hobbies, that walk in the late afternoon, that song you like to listen to alone. Keep nurturing all of these, because no one can be responsible for all of your happiness other than yourself. The other person comes to add to it, not to carry this burden. And I know that sometimes it's scary to set boundaries. We think, what if I say this and she doesn't like it? What if I express my opinion and she leaves me? But look, love without limits becomes a prison. And you don't need to live in prison just to avoid losing someone. You've already walked this far on your own. You've already faced so much. So don't be afraid to say what's important to you. If the person really likes you, they'll respect it. If they don't, it's better to find out sooner rather than later. I also wanted to touch on a delicate point: money. It may seem boring to talk about it when you're in love, but you can't ignore it. Because unfortunately, there are people who approach you just out of interest. You shouldn't be suspicious of everyone, no, but you should pay attention. Don't lend large amounts of money at the beginning. Don't mix finances right away. Don't make important decisions on impulse. Love doesn't need material proof to be true. And if someone tries to convince you otherwise, it's a warning sign. And since we're being honest, don't compare yourself to the past. Don't keep thinking that it was like that before or it was better with my old partner. Each person is unique. Each moment is unique. You're not the same person you were at 20 or 30, and that's not bad. It's beautiful. You've grown, matured, learned. Give yourself the chance to experience something new, without the shadows of what's past. The past is there to teach you, not to hold you back. And speaking of holding on, don't feel obligated to do anything just because you're in a relationship. Only do what you really want to do. Kiss when you feel like it. Go out to dinner when it feels good. Say I love you when you really mean it, not because you think it's expected, but because your heart tells you to. There's nothing more beautiful than being honest about your own feelings. And remember, you are not alone on this journey. Many people experience the same mix of fear and hope. Many people start dating at 60, 70, 80 and rediscover themselves. You deserve love, affection, and respect. Just don't forget that you also deserve your own peace. I know it may seem complicated at times, but deep down, it's simple. Listen to your heart, but also listen to your reason. Don't let loneliness make decisions for you.
Don't accept crumbs just so you don't feel alone. You're worth much more than that. And you know, I get emotional just imagining you there, smiling with a certain relief, thinking, it's true, I can still be happy. Because you really can. You can, and you deserve it. You still have so much to live, so much to feel, so much to offer. Shall we continue this conversation? I still want to share a few more important things that can help you live this new love with ease, with confidence, with your head held high and your heart at peace. You are here listening to me until now, and that already tells me so many beautiful things about you. It tells me that you still believe, that even with fear, even with so many memories, so many marks on your heart, you still have room to dream, to open up, to let someone in. And that, my friend, is one of the greatest proofs of courage that someone can give themselves. I want you to never forget, just because you've suffered before doesn't mean love is no longer worth it.
Just because you've cried doesn't mean you no longer have a smile to live for. Just because you've lost doesn't mean you have nothing left to gain. Each new person that comes into your life brings a different chance. It's not a continuation of the old story. It's a new, blank page waiting for you to write something of your own. And look, when you start writing this new story, write it beautifully. Take care of it like you would a plant in the garden. Because true love is like this. You water it a little bit every day. You don't need to suffocate it. You don't need to force it to grow. Just give it attention, give it affection, give it time, and watch how it blooms little by little. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You don't have to follow any rules. This relationship is yours and only yours. It doesn't have to be like your neighbor's or like the one in the movies or like the one in your past. It just has to be honest, light, and respectful. And for that, the first person you need to respect is yourself. So don't give up your peace to please someone else. Don't accept less than you deserve just so you don't feel alone. Don't blame yourself for setting limits. That's exactly what makes love work. Two whole people who choose each other every day, not because they desperately need each other, but because they want to be together, even though they can be apart. And if by chance this new relationship doesn't last, that's okay. It doesn't mean you failed. It just means you tried. And each attempt makes you stronger, wiser, more ready for what really awaits you in the future. It's not the fall that hurts the most. It's failing to get up. You know, I like to think of our hearts as being like a big house with lots of windows. Sometimes a window closes. Sometimes another one opens. Sometimes a new breeze comes in, a sun that you didn't even remember existed. And if the right window hasn't opened yet, don't give up. Keep cleaning your house, keep taking care of your garden, keep getting everything ready for the day when someone comes along with a sincere smile and says, "I like you just the way you are." Oh, and never forget the little joys. Don't expect someone else to be responsible for all your happiness. Keep going for walks, keep meeting friends, keep listening to music that makes you feel good. Keep laughing at silly things. Love is beautiful, but it's not everything. It's just a part of your life, a good part, but it only shines when the rest of your life is also well taken care of. And please never think that you are too old to love. That is nonsense. Our hearts do not age. They continue to beat the same way, wanting to be seen, wanting to be heard, wanting to be loved. It doesn't matter if you are 60, 70, 80. What matters is what you decide to do with your time from now on. So, if you're starting a relationship, remember, take it slow. Respect your own pace. Observe the person. Respect their story.
Be honest with yourself and take care of yourself first and foremost. That way, you'll be able to experience this new love in a light, enjoyable way without carrying more weight than necessary. And look, I believe in you. I believe in your ability to start over. I believe that there is still so much joy waiting for you. I believe that you deserve to be treated well, well cared for, well loved. And don't accept anything less than that, ever. Now, I would like to ask you something. If this conversation touched your heart in any way, leave your experience in the comments below. Tell me, are you already experiencing a new love? Are you thinking about opening up to someone, or are you still gathering courage? Your story can inspire many people who are also watching. And if you know someone who is going through the same phase, send this video to them too. Sometimes a kind word at the right time makes all the difference. And before I say goodbye, I want to tell you one more thing. Life can still be full of energy, choices, and joy. You can still be happy. You can still fall in love. You can still feel loved, desired, and important, because you are all of these things. And it's never too late to remember that. So go, my friend. Open your heart, but protect it too. Take care of yourself. Love wisely, but don't lose your tenderness, because that's what makes us human, the ability to allow ourselves even after everything. Thank you for listening to me this far. It was a pleasure to share this moment with you. A big hug, the kind that warms the soul. And until the next conversation. Leave your comment below telling your story, share this video with someone special, and remember, you deserve to be happy at any age.